Hi, my name is Daniel.
Hi, my name is Puya.
Hi, my name is Josh.
Hi, my name is Lauren.
Hello everybody, thank you for tuning into our webinar. My name is Mike Mitchell and we are Freedom Consulting, and we're here today to create a video for you to explain our final project, the culmination of all the work we've been doing this semester. We have provided you a PDF agenda that should be printed out in the packet in front of you. Go ahead and feel free to take notes throughout the presentation, and at the end we're going to have a conference call that you guys can call into. We'll give you the information for that at the end of the video. And you guys can ask any questions you've had throughout the video, and we can clarify anything that is still unclear. I'm going to begin by laying out the business challenge for you. Puya is going to come in and give you a brief overview of the methodology. Josh is going to come in and explain the policy to you, followed by Lauren. She's going to give you guys the rundown on the rest of the deliverables, and then Daniel's going to come in and explain the strategy. So first for the business challenge. When we first met with you guys back in September, Winona kind of expressed a need for more collaboration, more formalization within the organization because of your recent switch to a virtual organization structure. You guys had a brick and mortar office, you guys were working out of a physical location, you had face-to-face meeting times to collaborate, and now, since everything is taking place over the internet, conference calls, those kinds of things, there's a need to increase the standardization of those processes so that everybody's on the same page, so everybody can tune into all the meetings, and you guys can proceed as the best organization possible. So now I'm going to kick it over to Puya, and he's going to give you an overview of the methodology.
Next thing we're going to look at is the methodology section. We have decided to take a four-pronged approach. For the methodology section, the four components are academic research, a survey, a few interviews, and benchmarking. Alright, firstly, we consulted academic articles to help gain further insight on virtual operations. Second, we surveyed 25 associates in iDream to get a first insight on their current virtual operations. We also did various interviews to get a final insight on their current operations. Lastly, we benchmarked 3 organizations, is the federal government. The first one, the second one is NT Data Systems, and the third one is the University of California, Berkeley, to finalize our research. Alright, so now that we briefly talked about the methodology and the mechanics of how we did the methodology, we're now going to go over our key findings. For our key findings, instead of going over all of them, we thought it'd be important to speak on the ones that overlapped. Equipment and technology should be tested regularly. iDream should have regularly scheduled days to test the technology, which will help prevent possible technical issues that arise during important group meetings. The second key finding that overlapped had to do with face-to-face meetings. We believe that iDream should schedule monthly face-to-face meetings, which will allow team members to redirect the main goals of the organization if needed. And finally, the third key finding that overlapped had to do with emergencies. Associates should know who to contact, when to contact, and where to contact in case of emergency. For more information on the methodology itself, please refer to the final report, which you will receive shortly. And now Josh will cover the policy itself.
Hi iDream. I'm going to go over the teleworking policy itself and also the teleworking agreement. And if you'd like to follow along with me while I talk about these, you can find the teleworking policy on page 2. I'll start with that. We've broken down the teleworking policy into 5 sections. We found this was a common practice and perhaps other organizations use more sections, but we found that it was necessary to break down the teleworking policy into different areas to talk about the different reasons why the policy is in place. The first section we used is the background and purpose section. This outlines the reasons why we think the policy is necessary and also outlines the goals of the policy itself. The next section outlines the definition of teleworking for iDream. This is important to include in the policy because every person in the organization who reads the policy itself will also know exactly what the policy is for and exactly how to go about teleworking at iDream. The next section is the coverages and exclusions. This declares who the policy is for and which people it falls under. The fourth section is the roles and responsibilities. We decided that it would be a good idea for iDream to appoint a teleworking director. This person would be the point of contact for all members in iDream for any problems with teleworking or any communication issues related to the policy itself. This person would also be empowered to oversee that the policy is implemented correctly and to make sure that it continues going into the future. The next section within the roles and responsibilities outlines the roles and responsibilities of all other employees. This basically goes through mandating quick return of contact and also that people need to collaborate with the teleworking policy. The last section is a summary section. Basically concludes the policy and recognizes that the policy is going out continually. Next, I'm going to talk about the teleworking agreement. You can find this on page 4 of your agenda, and if you'd like to follow along, please feel free to do so. The teleworking agreement is a very simple document. It's 2 paragraphs. It outlines that whoever is signing the document has read the teleworking policy and is familiar with the ins and outs of the policy itself. It also creates a level of accountability. The person signing this document recognizes that teleworking is a very important part of iDream and that not doing it properly is not going to be good for the future of the iDream organization. I hope that you find the 2 of these documents useful for iDream currently and going into the future. Now Lauren's going to talk about the rest of our deliverables.
Thanks, Josh. I'm going to spend a few minutes walking through the deliverables that we've provided for you, including the policy handbook, commonly used products guide, and brochure. We've polished each document to specifically fit iDream's needs as a growing virtual organization. I will review the contents of each document and explain how to best use each deliverable so that they impact iDream in the most tangible way possible. Please turn to page 5 in your agenda to view the teleworking policy handbook. This handbook is supplementary to the policy that Josh explained earlier. It serves as a user-friendly guide to the do's and don'ts of teleworking in iDream. It outlines simple, easy-to-follow expectations that we derive from our research. We believe this handbook should be used to acquaint new volunteers with iDream's virtual operations. Paired with the official policy and teleworking agreement, this is essential in creating an environment of accountability. Now turn to page 7 to view the commonly used products guide. I'm actually really excited to share this deliverable because it'll help iDream synthesize operations and improve virtual productivity. The commonly used products guide is a simple way to educate associates on how to use the tech products and resources iDream uses on a daily basis. We determined this list from the survey that we conducted, and we asked associates what products and resources they like to use within the teleworking environment in iDream, and this includes products such as email, GoToMeeting, Skype, and Google Docs. We then created a PDF document with hyperlinks leading to informative videos and tutorials on how to use each resource. When you click on the web link on the PDF, your browser will automatically open the website that has the tutorials. This will allow associates to learn how to use these resources with the click of a button rather than struggling through on their own. Finally, please turn to page 8 to view the brochure. This deliverable is focused on the potential volunteers that iDream wants to attract to its growing organization. To grow into a national network of change agents, iDream needs volunteers who are not only passionate about the issue at hand, but also fit into the virtual framework. As you can see, the brochure is a 2-sided document that provides both a description of the organization and a technology baseline checklist. Based on the policy and commonly used products, we determined a short list of technologies necessary to become an active, productive iDream associate. By letting potential associates take a brief look into iDream's operational expectations, they can determine if iDream is the right fit for them as a volunteer. It's our hope by using all these deliverables, iDream will continue to grow and prosper. Now Daniel will explain the strategy for policy implementation.
Hi iDream. So now that the deliverables have been explained to you, I can talk about the implementation strategy that Freedom Consulting has come up with that lets you adopt the policy and continue using it in the future. So we broke down the strategy into 3 steps, which is the adoption of the policy, testing the policy, and a reevaluation and updating period for the policy. So we broke down the first step of the strategy, which is the adoption of the policy, into 4 sub-steps. The board's approval of the teleworking policy, the commonly used products guide, and the brochure, conducting an IT seminar, signing the teleworking agreement, and an optional virtual IT seminar. So the first sub-step, which is the board's approval of the policies and commonly used products guide and brochure, starts with Winona and the board members looking at the policy and the commonly used products guide and approving it. And then after this step has been done, you can go to sub-step 2, which is conducting the IT seminar. At the IT seminar, iDream should choose a physical location of its choice and gather all of their members there, and attendance should be mandatory. At the IT seminar, Winona, the board, and Weldon Wu will talk about how the teleworking policy works and explain the commonly used products guide to all of the members. Next, in sub-step 3, which is signing the teleworking agreement, all of the members will sign the agreement, which states that they understand how the teleworking policy works and repercussions if they don't follow it. And this is to establish accountability amongst the members at iDream. And after this, you could, if you choose to, hold a virtual IT seminar. If all of the members at iDream can't gather at the same location, iDream can choose to hold the seminar virtually. Attendance should still be mandatory for everyone, but if the IT seminar is done virtually, you can email out a PDF copy of the teleworking agreement, have everyone sign it, and email it back to Winona. The second step of the implementation strategy is testing the actual policy. And this has also been broken down into sub-steps. The first one is recording feedback. The second is addressing major concerns. And the third is a backup plan in case of the teleworking policy failure. So in the first sub-step, all the members at iDream have begun using the new teleworking policy, and undoubtedly they're going to notice things about it that they either like, or dislike, or issues that they're having with it. So Freedom Consulting thinks it's a good idea that this feedback should be recorded throughout the year as it's being used. And an easy way that this can be done would be for iDream to set up a page on its website where members can leave feedback and choose to do it either anonymously or attach their name in order to make sure that the feedback is honored. The second step would be addressing major concerns. Policy, they should notify Winona immediately. And then Winona can decide whether or not, in order to correct these issues, she has to hold a meeting. If she doesn't feel like she has to hold a meeting, Winona can address the issues on her own, make a change to the policy, and email everyone back notifying them of the change. And if she does decide to hold a meeting, she can choose a location of her choice, or do it virtually, and then address the issues with all the people together and make the changes to the policy. The last step, which is a backup plan in case of the policy's failure, is different from the second step because this is in case the policy completely fails. And in that case, a meeting should definitely be held as soon as possible, and the board, Winona, and any other members who can arrive should come and pull up the feedback that's been recorded on the website thus far and try to figure out why the policy isn't working. And after everyone comes to a good conclusion, you can change the policy and set a new date to put the policy back into use. Reevaluation and updating period of the policy. And this has also been broken down into 3 sub-steps. Discussing feedback, making revisions to the policy if necessary, and the continuation of the policy. So if the policy didn't fail or have any major concerns that needed to be addressed, this would be the time when iDream gathers together and reviews the policy. So in the first sub-step, which is discussing feedback, at the yearly meeting, Winona, the board, and the members can pull up the feedback that's been recorded on iDream's secure webpage and look for any common themes in the feedback. And in the second step, Winona and the board can decide whether any revisions need to be made in the policy. If you notice any common themes in the feedback that talk about, this has really been a problem, I'm managing with it, but it's difficult, you can decide whether or not the policy needs to be changed. This is the part of the strategy where you would actually make those changes and then agree on them all together. And in the final sub-step, which is the continuation of the policy, if there are any changes, you can put them into use and start with them again, and if not, you can just continue using the policy the same way you have. And during this meeting, you can also choose whether or not you need to update the commonly used products guide as technology changes. Freedom Consulting is confident that if you follow the implementation strategy of adopting, testing, and reevaluating the policy, that internal operations within iDream will definitely improve. And any intricacies that I didn't go over in the policy should be in the final project that you'll be receiving shortly. And now I'll address some of the recommendations that we have for iDream. Okay, so although this goes beyond the scope of the project that we worked on for iDream, one recommendation that we have for the organization is to eventually shift to a complete Google-based platform for iDream's communications. Currently, iDream doesn't have uniformity amongst its members when it comes to the communication technologies it's using. So we feel that by everyone shifting to a complete Google-based platform, iDream will have uniformity and can prevent issues as far as formatting goes, and any confusion that might arise by its members not using the same programs. Google has a lot of features like Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Voice that will allow iDream to continue communicating the same way it has, except everyone will be using the same programs and be on the same page.
Thank you everybody for tuning into our webinar and watching our video. Now we're going to start the teleconference portion of the presentation. We provided the information to call into the teleconference on page 1 of the agenda as well. There's going to be a telephone number and an access code. Call into that at 1 o'clock and we will answer any questions you guys still have and clarify anything that is still unclear. Thank you.